Hi, and welcome to the Beyond the Falls podcast. I'm Sarah Jenkins, and today I've got Kevin Westhuis with River Falls Sports Broadcasting Channel. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me today. So I just left my regular day job, River Falls Municipal Utilities, and I thought you were going to say that. I forgot I was here for broadcasting today. So anyway, no, but I'm glad to be here talking about River Falls Sports Broadcasting and what we're doing in the community. Can't wait to share.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's awesome. I'm just super excited you're here because I think it's, let's start. I'm going to start by asking you the question I ask everyone. Tell me what brought you to River Falls, what ties you to the community?
Sure. So I am originally from Wisconsin. My wife is from Chicago. In 1990, we moved to Fort Collins, Colorado. We were in Colorado for 23 years. And every time we would go on vacation, we'd come back to the Midwest and we said we're going home. And I said, after 23 years, why don't we call Colorado home in Fort Collins? Oh, it was a great place to raise a family. So we said, someday we'll move back to the Midwest. Our criteria was a small town in the Midwest that is close to an international airport and has a university in the town. And I've heard about this job in River Falls, Wisconsin for utility director, and I applied for it, and I'm getting the job, and it met all the criteria. Beautiful little small town with a university in the town, 37 minutes from an international airport, and it was the best choice we ever made, and we've never looked back. So 23 years in Colorado, Fort Collins, Colorado, River Falls for the job as a utility director here in River Falls.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's
so there you go.
Awesome. Since we are talking about River Falls Sports Broadcasting, you're the director of utilities, but tell us, this is something, it's just a really neat service you provide to our community. I think it's incredible. So tell us about
how we did that.
Yes.
That is interesting because this is a great segue. So in Fort Collins, I started doing broadcasting of sports there. There's 4 high schools there. And I figured out in like 2009 or 2010, you could stream video on the internet. And I was streaming my son's baseball games so my parents in Wisconsin could watch. They had a lot of success there at Rocky Mountain High School. They won 4 state championships in a row, and I needed to get that out. Yeah. So I figured it out, and we did live baseball games. Then I ended up doing basketball and football for all 4 high schools. So I was doing a lot. So I moved here to River Falls, had all this gear and knowledge how to do this, and I ended up going to a high school basketball game in 2013. I had moved here in March. It was in the fall, late fall. And I see Fred Barr and Russ Blasius doing a boys basketball game. And I went over there, but they're just recording it. It's not live. And Fred said, well, I take this back to the Channel 16 community access studio, and I edit it, and we put it out on a community cable access station every week. And I'm like, that's cool. I said, hey guys, have you ever considered doing a live broadcast? They're like, no way, we're never going to do that. And I said, let me try to convince you. I'll set it up, I'll try live. I think a week or 2 later, we went live for the first time in, it might have been early 2014, and we did a live broadcast on High School Cube was the platform, and they said that was awesome, and we never looked back after that. So, and we did High School Cube for about 5 years here in River Falls, and then they sold to NFHS Sports, and I said, let's start a YouTube channel. So we have River Falls Sports Broadcasting on YouTube as of about almost 6 years ago now.
Wow.
And over 5,000 subscribers and 150 events a year.
Wow.
So we went from, hey, let's try this, to now it's almost an everyday thing here in River Falls. Yeah, so it went from just this concept of having the gear, kind of knowing how to do this stuff, and convincing these local guys who are already putting on cable access to try to go live. And you know what? I just immediately met some great friends in Russ Blasius and Fred Barr, and and then it just went on from there. And they're still involved at some level.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
It's super cool. I know I've got a high school student, and my parents live about an hour away, and it's so nice to be able to, they can watch the games without having to travel, and it's a neat service.
Well, I'll tell you what, on that note, so I think even probably 6 years ago when we went from High School Cube, which was good, it was a nice streaming platform, but it wasn't overly easy to find. And it was before you could really watch it on your television. So it was okay, but when we went to YouTube, everything changed because the timing of it's easy to find. Grandma and Grandpa anywhere can get on YouTube and find the games. B, it's streamable on the television now. So we went from having to watch it on your computer or phone to now being able to stream it on the big screen, and everything has changed now that you have these interactive televisions with live streaming. So it's really next level because of YouTube and the ability to stream on televisions. And Grandma and Grandpa can get it.
Yes,
That's what I go for. So I go to that denominator, right? If Grandma and Grandpa in Sarasota can get it, we're good.
Yeah. No, it's fun to watch. I know I'm definitely, before my son was in high school, if it was raining out, we'd watch it at home, or during the COVID years, it was like, we can still watch high school football. And
well, that's good.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe you're going to get into these questions, but we'll talk about, starting out with a high school basketball game here in River Falls. Then, of course, we did football in the fall. And then I think we graduated into maybe girls basketball and volleyball. I remember the very first volleyball game we ever did was in Marshfield. And I didn't know until I got there. I just said, hey, Greg Peters said, hey, can we do a volleyball game in Marshfield? I get there. And then I meet Mike Cayley up in the stands. He says, I'm going to be your broadcaster tonight. And I'm like, okay, well, let's roll this thing. And we set up in the bleachers, I think, and that was our first girls volleyball broadcast. And that became really popular with Mike Cayley and Rob Derry doing that. And that was a whole nother level of broadcasting. And if you go and watch some of their stuff, I mean, it's as good as anything you would ever see in any college broadcast ever. So they took girls volleyball and brought that to a whole nother level. And now, fast forward to 2024, I mean, it's girls volleyball, it's girls soccer, boys soccer, wrestling, hockey, football, boys basketball, baseball, softball this year we added.
Yeah.
So it's almost swimming.
Oh, wow.
So swimming is on there as well. So it's almost every sport in the high school. And if someone says, well, why aren't you doing this one? I'm saying, looking for volunteers, and I'll train you up and we'll go do it. So So we went from boys basketball to almost covering every sport. And it literally is probably 150 events now, done with about 20 volunteers.
That's amazing. So it is volunteer.
All volunteer. This is all volunteer-based. River Falls Sports Broadcasting is a 501c3. And as my wife says, why don't you pick a better hobby? She's like, y'all let time in, it's a money loser, but that's okay.
Yep.
We do have people that do a sponsor. We have our main sponsor, First National Bank of River Falls has been a main sponsor. Yep. And I think Jeff would say that's probably one of the best marketing dollars he spent.
Yeah. That
broadcasting has become synonymous with First National Bank. I know the bank says people call them and thanks for doing the broadcast. So good for First National.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have you as a partner. That helps us buy equipment, replace equipment, pay some of the fees and stuff we need to pay. Then we have other sponsors as well. Even yourself has got on board. You understand the power of this, and I think we reach a lot of eyeballs. On any typical fall or winter month, there's 35 to 40,000 people who will tune into our events on any given month throughout the school year. That is becoming a pretty powerful tool to market in the community. So First National is a main sponsor. We have other sponsors. I don't actively seek them out. And we use all of that money either to give back to local charities or to replacing equipment and buying new equipment for her.
Yeah. So you guys went from the just kind of backtracking, just the one basketball game, you've grown into so many sports now. Mm-hmm. I just want to touch too that I've even seen the broadcast channel at the mega band concert that the
we did
school district
I forgot about that. We did the band concert too. Yes.
So I thought that was really
fun.
neat.
I love it because I always say, so if someone says, why do you do this? I think athletics give kids a jump start on life. I mean, in a thing called basketball season, you learn how to win, learn how to lose, become a team player, responsibility, how to learn from your mistakes. Everything that life brings you, you can learn in a controlled environment called basketball season or football season. And it's the same for the band, right?
Yep.
Band is no different. You're involved in something in a band of practicing and learning and team play, and it's awesome. So we can celebrate those kids as well. So it's not just athletics. I think it's band, it's dance team, it's all this stuff.
Yeah.
And once in a while we get asked to do that, and I typically work between please and thank you. And if I'm available, we'll probably try to do it.
I know, it's awesome. And I know even on a small scale, powerlifting did an event a couple years ago. So.
Yes, powerlifting. Yeah, I think your husband Dan was involved in that. Yep. He says, hey, can we do powerlifting? And I went and set those guys up, and then I left, and I came back like 14 hours later, and they were still doing it.
True story. But it's just as easy as that. We contacted you, and so if you're looking maybe to, maybe you're not seeing your child's activities.
Contact me, and we now have 3 sets of equipment. We just got another one this year, so we're using some of this donation money, and we're buying another set. So it's pretty well used. But hey, maybe we can fit you in as well. So, but yeah, you got to come to the Kevin Westhuis broadcast training school. 4 hours of intensive training.
Yeah.
And it's not only the training, like how to get this thing running, but what do you say on the air? What should you be saying? What areas should you never go into, right? And so I have to coach people up on that as well. And here's what I would say: all of our broadcasts are high-level celebration of youth sports.
Yeah.
I'm a 70% homer. We just proudly say that, but we also celebrate the other team as well.
Yep.
We never question kids, never question coaches. This is a celebration of youth athletics.
Yeah.
And we can get excited once in a while for the home team if they score.
Yeah, just a little.
Just a little.
So, we talked about how you're staffed, how you're funded. I was going to ask you what are your plans for the future? Where do you see this going?
So, I do believe, now with coming up on 6,000 subscribers, 40,000 views a month, community kind of depending on this, like if the game's not on, like where's the game, right? I think about that, and I think I'm pretty extended, like all I can do. But I thought, what could make this better? What can make this better is highlights. Like we need people to curate content, to make highlights, to do more shows, to do more marketing. Things like that. I think that is next level. And maybe I was thinking, well, how does that happen? I've asked for volunteers in the schools and things, and they don't really come that frequently. So maybe I should try to take some of this contribution money through advertisers and invest it in people that can maybe do some of this stuff. So I'm thinking that might be next level, is to maybe shoot the lock off the wallet, maybe so to say, and get some of these kids hired on a stipend or something to do some curating of content, to make highlights, to make TikTok videos, to do some of these things with our content to even get it out there even more. I think that would be a nice next level thing.
I think that would be really fun to see too.
I don't have time to do it. I don't have the expertise, but I know there are people who do that. So connect what we're doing to more social media outlets and find people that can curate content in interesting and fun ways that would be watched. That's where I think I'd like to see this go.
Yeah.
And I don't know who can do that, but I think that we have a lot of content to work with. I'd just say that.
Yeah, especially the amount of games and events that you guys are at.
Right.
I can only imagine you could put like a weekly video together.
You certainly could, right?
Yeah.
Or after a big football game, I need somebody to take the top 10 plays and do it, put it to music, make it interesting. Sometimes that just gets done organically by somebody. Like I'll do fish baseball, and then all of a sudden I'll see 7 highlight clips. I'm like, well, somebody put that together.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool. But it's not me. But I wish we could find some people to do that, and I'm thinking about how to maybe invest in some people to take that to the next level. So I think that would help our channel and our station and the community.
Yeah. I love it.
So okay. That's a shout out. Any aspiring editors out there, content creators? I've got a bunch of raw content that you can use. Come see me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
So there's a shout out.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's where I like to see it go. Beyond that, my focus still is River Falls. I don't have any aspirations of taking this statewide or nationally. I want to be the best hyper-local sports broadcasting in River Falls, and I want to be the best. I'm quietly competing with everybody. Like, I want it to be something people would look up to. I want it to be something our community's proud of, and I want this to be something kids are also proud of. So I don't have that stated mission anywhere, but it's in my mind. I'm always thinking about trying to be the best.
Yeah. Well, I think it's so impressive what you've done, and
thank you. It's fun.
And I know our community enjoys it, and
it's fun.
Beyond River Falls. And gosh, I feel like I saw an X post probably a year ago complimenting River Falls sports broadcasting.
Really?
Gosh, I should have looked it up and looked for it, but it was.
That's the fuel, but I'll just say on this. So that's the fuel for me. People say, "What's your inspiration?" I ask myself that once in a while. How do I spend 15, 20 hours a week on this? Like, what's in it for me? You know what's in it for me? Getting to hang out with people like you and our camera fellow, Chris. I didn't know you guys, and you meet new, interesting people. So that's fuel for me.
Yep.
I get connected to the community. I love sports. My wife, since we met, she used to call me Howard for Howard Cosell. So she knows that I love doing this stuff too. So I love sports. I love meeting people. I love the feeling I get when I can give back and somebody appreciates that. And when someone says thank you, that fuels me. So my motivations are, I think they're authentic. I'm not making any money on it. I'm not looking for any fame or fortune. But if I can make somebody's day better, I feel good about that. So that's my fuel. So the comments, that's my fuel.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's also, hopefully, it's fueling the fire of making sure youth athletics get celebrated, because I understand how important, and not only athletic band and all these other things, I know how that can impact a kid's life in a positive way, and to have that venue there for them to learn all of life skills in a controlled environment so they can be better humans moving forward. I want to be part of celebrating that.
Yeah, you are. Definitely.
So that's that.
Well, we're super grateful. Before we leave, is there anything else that you want to share?
About a million things.
Oh, yeah, go on. I love it.
I can't tell. This guy's a broadcaster. All he wants to do is talk. There's not much empty air when you get me the microphone.
Did you have a background in broadcasting at all?
No. This is all School of Hard Knocks.
Wow.
So all School of Hard Knocks. I'll tell you too, when I started doing this, this is a fun, nobody knows this one. So I started, and I saw you can stream video, and I picked up a phone one day, and this is like 2010. So this is 14 years ago. I said to somebody, this phone right here is someday going to be your television. And people laughed at me. They're like, that is never going to happen. And I said, yeah, it is. You watch. I said, because when this content gets to your phone and people are watching stuff on their phone, it's not going to be a television anymore. It's going to be TV, maybe, phone. But the way people are receiving and delivering information is going to change. I started something called northerncolorado.tv. So this is before YouTube.
Yeah.
And I had like 20 channels on there. It was sports and entertainment. It was civics channel, arts and entertainment. And I had all these channels. I had all these people out filming, like our photographer is today. And I would curate the stuff, and I had them all on these channels online. And I would go to try to get advertisers for that, and they did not understand the concept at all.
Wow.
And I couldn't really figure out how to monetize it. But I spent 18 months doing that. I learned a ton. I spent a lot of money. I didn't make any money. So that was a School of Hard Knocks on that. But northerncolorado.tv was out there, and it was just 10 years too early. That's all.
Oh my goodness.
So there's my background is to 100% School of Hard Knocks.
That's awesome.
There's a little side note nobody knew.
I never knew that.
northerncolorado.tv. Before YouTube, I could kind of see it coming, and nobody else could. So put that away, but I do use what I learned in all of that to get where we are today.
Yeah. Well, we're super grateful that you're...
It's fun.
Our community's so lucky to have you.
I don't know. It's right place, right time. I really love being in River Falls. Our family likes being in River Falls. It's a great community. There's great coaches. There's great administrators. There's great philanthropists, business people. It's a wonderful community. It has something special going on. I'm glad to be part of it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining the podcast today.
Sarah, thank you for having me. It's been fun.
We're going to have you on again, maybe, to talk about what you do with the city.
There you go.
These days, maybe a little later on, we'll have you on.
That'd be fun. And I'll finish with this. Every time I leave the house, almost every night, the last thing I say to my wife, see you online.